Okay, hello. Here we are with Kurt Huang. Kurt is one of the customs agents that work with most of the Chilean fresh fruit exporting companies. And thank you very much, Kurt, for being here. Maybe if you want, you can introduce yourself and explain a bit about your company and your position and all of that.
Well, our company is one of the major import service provider for fresh fruits in China. We are based in Shanghai, but we also have a branch office in Shenzhen, Guangzhou, and Guangxi. We also have office in Thailand and Vietnam. We're handling around 40,000 containers of fresh fruit every year, and Chile is one of the most important origin, and the cherry is the most important item for us to handle.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Kurt. The main topic of this conversation would be to analyze how the cherry season has been so far. We have just finished the period of Chinese New Year, so the most important, I would say, part of the season has already finished. So I wanted to ask you, Kurt, what is the balance of the season so far? How did you see it compared to the previous season and in general?
Well, in the beginning, the whole industry is very worried, especially when Guangzhou was with the COVID breakout. So it's very dangerous because the Guangzhou market was not working normally, although it's not closed. And also because most of the volume is going to Shenzhen and the Guangzhou port. So it could be a disaster if Guangzhou also has a city lockdown like Shanghai did in early 2022. Very lucky for the whole industry, for everybody. China lifted the COVID restriction suddenly because of various reasons. It's a big relief. I would say for the previous season, to handle the cherry is like playing a video game. Is set in hard.
Yeah.
And this season, it will suddenly return to normal. Okay. So I think for everybody, and the importers, the wholesalers, and also like our side, the service provider, custom agents, we are all relieved. It's not well, I would say we don't have much pressure. It's an easy season for everybody. So it's good to have a normal season again.
So I think you kind of answer a bit of the question already, but how did you see the logistics this year compared with, or this season compared with last season in general? Not only the port logistic, but also like track and inland logistics.
Well, for the previous 3 seasons, since when the COVID was just breakout in China in 2020, there are 3 seasons during the COVID, and every season there is a different problem. For the first season, the problem is it's so suddenly. It happened so suddenly. So those fruit left after the Chinese New Year cannot be distributed. So the price like suddenly fall down. This is for the first season, and for the second season is the rumor about the COVID virus on the cherry. It affects the sales dramatically. And for the third season, the problem is for the fruit to enter the congestion in Hong Kong because of those disinfection policy, and also is too concentrated in Hong Kong. The Shenzhen Bay, they are controlling the volume to go through, so everybody is running away by feathers. It caused the chaos. So different year, different problem. And this year, I think that is no problem. First, because the Cherry Express has been more diversified. There are more vessels to Shanghai and more vessels direct to Nansha port. And Nansha season played a very important role and a very good role in the cherry import. And for the inland track, there is no problem because the drivers has no need to worry about being rejected when they are crossing the to other provinces. So this year, no problem. The problem return to normal. The congestion in the major wholesale market, when in the normal season, the problem is always inside the Guangzhou market or inside the Shanghai market. The fruit cannot enter because it's too crowded. And this year, the problem returns to where it should be. So there is no problem for the fruit to enter China, and there's no problem for you to transport the cherry from the port to different provinces. So I think it's an easy season. Everybody feels quite relieved.
Excellent. And let me ask you another question. How did you see? I guess that the logistics also. I mean, the having no logistic problems this year was beneficial for the quality of the fruit. How did you see the quality of the fruit arriving this year, this season? Sorry.
Well, I think the quality or the condition of the fruit this season is normal. It's normal. There are good fruit. There are social quality, and there are some with a problem. So it's normal.
But would you say it was better than when the COVID restrictions were in place?
Well, last year the fruit was delayed in Hong Kong 1 or 2 weeks. So there are a lot of problems caused by the waiting. So it's unfair to compare the fruit by direct arrival or those delay 1 or 2 weeks. So it's unfair. For sure. Yeah, I would say still there are a lot of room for the Chilean cherry industry to improve. The cherry is still not perfect, right? And different grower or different shipment with a different condition. So still, if you can have a better quality, you can still get a better return.
Last season, it was not only the waiting in the ports, but also the delay in the transit time of the vessels was also relevant. So you could have, many fruits waiting more than 20 days. I mean, 15 days in the ports plus at least 10 days. So as Kurt said, it's not fair to compare. My question to you, Kurt, would be this season, we are seeing now in week number 5, there's some worry with Regina, although the appearance of the fruit is quite good. I mean, it's well packed, it's clean, but there is the fear of the internal breakdown. And we have seen that the other markets, apart from Guangzhou, are quite slow. So Shanghai and in the north. What's your feeling? What's going to happen for the next 3 weeks? Because the main volume of after Chinese New Year was here in week number 5. We had around 1,300 containers of liners, and the movement has been. I mean, the openings have been not a significant number, and the movement has also been around 40% in average. So, what's your feeling about what's going to happen? We're going to have stocks for sure of this week for next week.
Well, I have to say, my concern is in the logistics side. I don't pay much attention to the sales because that's not my job. But I talk to people, and I also observe by myself. Well, it's normal because after Chinese New Year, the Chinese return to work, so there is no mood for vacation, and cherry is no longer. People don't pay much attention to buy fruits. And also cherry has been a topic for quite a long time. Now it's in the end of the season. It's normal that people no longer pay much attention to it. They've been eating cherry during the New Year, and they may be paying attention to other things, maybe sugar plum or other fruits. And also for the remaining of the fruit, the quality is not as good as before the Chinese New Year. So all the effort for the wholesaler, they are just cleaning the stock to sell them all with as good as return as possible. But as you say, the wholesale market has been slow for the cherry. Now they rely a lot on the retail channels. The retail channel can stimulate the sales by promotion. Now you have to sell the cherry cheaper than before the Chinese New Year. Maybe until the last period, those are very later harvest. And by the time almost no cherry in the market, and those shipments may get a very high return. But the precondition is it must arrive in good condition.
Yeah, quality first.
And also when you talk about Regina, a lot of people also worry that as a previous season, there are a lot of problems to ship by sea. And that's why there are charter by air even after the Christmas. This is an attempt to make the Regina to arrive in the Chinese market without a quality issue.
Maybe let me ask you, Kurt, how did you see the prices evolution this year? Were they good compared to previous seasons? Were they okay, or what comments do you have on that?
Well, as I said, this is a normal season.
Okay.
So for the jumbo size, you get around 200 to 250, which is reasonable, and also the price has been more stable. There is no extreme low price this year for ordinary quality. So the price has been more stable and more predictable. It's more fair this season.
And I wanted to ask you also about the varieties. What were the main varieties you saw this year, and what varieties do you think are going to keep doing well in next seasons or in the future?
Well, now people, everybody, like a wholesaler or even the consumer, they started to learn about the difference of the variety. So the Chinese consumer are becoming more and more sophisticated. So I think we have to follow this trend or further educate the consumers, tell them the difference of the variety. Like it's not simply buying cherry, they are buying the variety, and buying the different variety, they are buying different quality, different and they should be paying different price. So I think it's a trend, and it's a trend for everybody to follow. I can't comment too much in the professional side. I can only comment as a consumer. As a consumer, I like crunchy cherries, like bean or cordia, those varieties. I don't like soft cherries.
In the end, it's the consumer the one that has the last decision, isn't he?
Yeah. You know, every year, like the first week of January, the last week and the first week is like the promotion, the first promotion by the retail channel. They force the supplier to give them a very low price. For example, like 298 yuan for 5 kilo in the past for jumbo, and now they are asking for super jumbo. And by the time the wholesale market may be selling higher price, so the suppliers they are losing money by sending those fruit to the retail channel.
Yeah.
So you can imagine the condition of the cherry sent to the retail channel won't be the best, and they are not able to send the worst. So it's a social quality being sent to the retail channel. So when consumers buy it, they are not so satisfied, or yes, still they cannot complete too much.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So I think that's not a good experience, not perfect experience. So I think still the whole industry should work on how to improve the consumer experience, and let them know for different quality they are paying for different price, not because it's doing promotion, so they are paying a price for a social quality. This is confusing. This is very confusing for the consumers.
And always aspire to the maximum quality, right, Kurt? That's the most important thing for China market. The quality is first.
I think we should let the consumers know, in different period, the early period, and the middle period, and the final period, they are receiving different fruit, and they are paying different price. They are right. So you cannot stop the consumers keep on learning, being more sophisticated, and you have to follow the trend. You can no longer fool the consumers.
Yeah, right. I meant if we consider the efforts done by the Association of Exporters from last year to narrow, less smaller size fruits or the color. So that has been a noticeable change. So that was my point, Kurt.
I wanted to ask you, what are you expecting for the next few weeks when the season is slows a bit down? What should we see? What should we expect with prices and that sort of things? And also, I mean, related to that, but not completely, what are you expecting for next season?
Well, in the industry, we say all fruit can be sold. The problem is the price. So you don't need to worry that there won't be fruit being dumped. So all will be sold. And although some fruit cannot get a good price, but in average it's okay. Yeah, it will be a good season. I think everybody should agree. Especially we had 3 difficult seasons. Yeah.
And you would expect the next season to be as good as this one? Probably more volume, but things go smoothly and that kind of thing.
Yes, I'm confident because the COVID is gone. I don't think there will be similar problem. And for the whole industry, we are doing a lot of progress. We are having more express vessel and going to more different ports and more direct to mainland ports, and also different ways of transport, like the conventional vessel, right? And also ocean air. So because of these attempts, we are having a lot of progress. So it all helped the Chilean cherry to arrive to the Chinese market in better conditions. And also by the effort of the whole industry, the cherry has go very deep into the Chinese market. It penetrated to second tier, third tier, even small towns. So it has become, I think the target is to make the cherry become a Chinese New Year tradition for Chinese.
It's kind of that already, wouldn't you say?
Yes, it's kind of already, but not something you must have.
Okay.
It's something like the hot topic or popular thing, but it's not like something you must have. Tradition is something you must have.
It's not like eating turkey in Thanksgiving Day in the US or something like that.
Yeah, because you see, in China we have a lot of tradition in our own festival. We eat certain thing in certain festival, right? Like we have the Dragon Boat Festival. We eat that rice wrapped in those leaves, and the tradition can be built.
Or the moon cake or things like that.
Yeah, things like that. So I think the cherry has this potential to build that. Yeah. And when it's in the DNA of Chinese, it's something you can never change.
Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah,
so,
and although some country in the South Hemisphere may also benefit from that, but they don't have the volume to compare with Chile. So finally, Chile will be the biggest winner.
Well, related to this last point, maybe I would like to ask you, Kurt, apart from the Chinese New Year, what other special dates do you foresee could be like good for the demand for the late part in China for cherry?
Well, you know, tomorrow is the 5th day of the Chinese New Year, and it's called Lantern Festival. It also marks the end of the Chinese New Year period. So it is supposed to be also a good occasion for the sales of the cherry, because family also get together in that occasion. But another problem is in that special day, the food is the sweet dumpling.
So it's difficult to compete with the sweet dumpling.
Maybe because you know cherry is sweet, and that sweet dumpling is also sweet. Yeah.
Maybe we should work in a cherry dumpling or something like that. Who knows?
I don't know. Well, my favorite is with the filling, sesame filling, not the cherry.
They say that could be is 14th of February for the Valentine's Day, and the other thing would be maybe if China makes another, e-commerce festival. Like we know they started in November, but they have now in December. So I think there's also one in June, right? Maybe.
Well, that is a less and less attraction for the Chinese for the e-commerce festival, because the competition has become a daily basis. So it doesn't need to be in that special day. Yeah, you will notice like Double 11. Alibaba always announced the total number of the sales, but I don't remember if they published last year, because people don't have this enthusiasm anymore.
They're buying lots of stuff all the time.
Yes, all the time. Yeah.
Well, from my side, I have to say thank you so much, Kurt. We're seeing your clock behind you, so thank you so much, because we know it's late for you.
No, it's not too late for me.
But still, we
Likewise.
really appreciate it.
Thanks, Kurt. Yeah. Big thanks.
And let's keep in touch.
Okay.
Bye. Have a good night.